Hey guys, it's Clarko here from Kick It to Scoops. I am the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumours and results. You want to be part of the show, Kick It to Scoops? Send through your questions through the Facebook link, which I'll attach every show on the post. And if you want to email me at aflinfolive@gmail.com, send through your questions and you may feature on the show and be answered your question from yours truly, Clarko, for free. Yes, for free. If you want to be on the show, as I said, send it through and I'll get back to you. Go Saints! Too easy this is.
Yes, Scoops, come on, mate. Keep going.
Hello everyone and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Clarko, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumours and results. We've got a very, very big show for you guys today, a very loaded show. Not only have we got the world famous segment Scoops Goes Bang, we're going to review and preview the rounds just gone and upcoming, my rolling All-Australian team, my heavily debated Brownlow votes, reenacted like Gil, the one audio message today, the Sarah Olle interview. Sarah Olle interview. If you don't know who Sarah Olle is, she's from Fox Footy and Fox Sports. She's a reporter and she does a lot of great work on Fox Sports and Fox Footy. So please enjoy that interview, which you'll see during the show today. And I have a huge announcement. What huge announcement am I talking about? You're going to find out during the show. And also, you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/CooperG. And merch. I've always got my merch online. You know what to do. You want any of my merch, whether it's a top, a mug, a stubby holder, you know what to do. Head to the website, which is attached in this YouTube video, and get your merch today. Because some merch may not be there for a long time.
Facebook icon. If you're watching this, it means you're one of his 39,000 followers. The most famous football Facebook page there is owned by this man.
But have people ever threatened you before over Facebook?
Yes. Yep, correct.
Which obviously, as we mentioned earlier, sucks. Favourite food?
Favourite food? Spaghetti bolognese.
That's a pretty good one.
Like when I first laid eyes on him in my first couple of weeks, I was like, who is this smart ass? Like, I just cannot stand you.
Please welcome the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Jack Viney. Footage came out yesterday of what he did to Sam Collins and he's been referred straight to the tribunal. Now it's talked about that Jack may be getting a severely heavy fine or a 1-week suspension. Acts like that, putting your elbow into Sam Collins' neck and pretty much forcing him into the ground, it's a disgusting act. It's a bad look for the game. It's disgusting. It's a grub act from Jack Viney. Apparently, he's been known to maybe not do these particular incidents, but get frustrated and do stupid incident, be involved in stupid incidents. But this act, Jack, is pathetic. Come on, mate. This is pathetic. You deserve not only a week, you deserve a heavy fine and many more weeks, honestly, on top of that. Looks like it's going to be a week or a heavy fine or both. But Jack, that's pathetic. Poor act, pathetic look, and your former captain, and looks disgusting. So lift your game. Trolls. Seriously, I've had enough. Somebody want to say, oh, I don't like his rolling Australian team and all this. Fine, don't like it. Don't care. Don't comment. Don't watch the show. If you don't like the show, piss off. I don't care. Do not watch, simply. I mean, some people want to say, oh, how can you not give Sam Walsh 3 votes, which I'm going to tease here. hang on, you're not giving 3 votes. You haven't seen my votes yet. But 3 goals and 26. If that was a St Kilda player that had 3 and 26, and there was someone with better stats, or a key forward kicking 5, or a halfback having over 30, he would say, oh, the 3 goals and 26 is good, but shouldn't have a vote. Look, simply, this is the example that's pissing me off. I mean, yeah, 3 goals and 26 in the game is good, and they won. That does not mean you're guaranteed 3 votes. Since when is 3 goals and 26 possessions overshadowed a 36-plus possession game with 12 clearances, 12 tackles, stuff like that, or 5 goals and 15 touches for a key forward? Seriously, trolls, you don't like what I predict or have, in my opinion, for my rolling Australian team of the week, Brownlow votes, whatever, I don't care. Piss off. Now, the Clarko debacle. Now, a lot of people owe Caroline Wilson and Sam McCloy, and Caro in particular, an apology. Caro stood front from the start about this Clarko, that he wouldn't be the coach of the Hawks this year and that Mitchell would take over next year. And she was proven correctly. Ben Dixon looks like an absolute idiot. Not only Ben Dixon, all the other people that blasted Caro saying she's an idiot, she knows nothing. Jeff Kennett, Sam Mitchell looks like a fool. But look, seriously, a lot of people owe Caro a debate. And some geeks online or some in the media say, oh, you finally got something right. She's got more than one thing right. And not everyone is perfect. Like the geeks online, they're never perfect. Any journo, they're never always correct. But the majority of the time, they're correct. And Caro was correct. And people saying all the gloating that Kane Corns and a few others did in reference to Caro, good. Fair enough. She deserved it, considering all the geeks online that wanted to blast her, say she knows nothing, how dare she say this, how cruel, after what Clarko said in his presser last week. Well, Clarko looks like a bit of a fool saying what he said now. He's getting paid out apparently $900,000. Look, seriously, the geeks, that in particular people like Ben Dixon and all the people that blasted Caro, you look like an absolute idiot. Oh, Jeff Kennett too, but he's always like that. But to those idiots that make Caro look like a geek, thought Caro was wrong and disgraced her, saying what a disgrace she is and all that. Well, you fools are disgraceful. Lift your game. Now, we're going to go on to the reviewing and previewing of the rounds just gone and upcoming. All the way back to Friday night. Yes, guys, it was unfortunately a loss to my Saints, 12-9-81, defeated by Carlton, 18-412. What's more to say? St Kilda started off okay. Carlton were too good in the end, and Saints tried to come back in the last quarter, which actually had a chance to come back. But unfortunately, Harry Mackay, Max King were the good key forwards, but Jack Steele was great. But yeah, unfortunately, that was it. Bulldogs, Adelaide at Mars Stadium. The Bulldogs had done what they had to do. 15-15, 105, defeated the Crows 8-8, 56. North Melbourne and Geelong in Tassie. North Melbourne 6-6-42, defeated by Geelong 8-14, 62. Only 20 points. North are in it the whole way through the game. They had some chances late, couldn't capitalise, but an okay win for Geelong, but North wouldn't be disgraced with that loss. They've been really good the last month after the Roos. Collingwood, probably the upset of the round. Collingwood spanked Eagles 14-6-90, defeated the West Coast Eagles 6-9-45. In Shannon Hearn's 300th, he would have been disgraced, the former skipper. West Coast, as I said, they're pretenders. They're average at home at the moment, and they're terrible away from home. And that statement has been proven correct yet again from the West Coast Wiggles. Gold Coast Melbourne, well, unfortunately for the Suns, it was terrible at Marvel Stadium. This game was moved from Metricon due to the Queensland lockdown last minute. Gold Coast 4-6-30, defeated by Melbourne 18-20, 128, concerning for the Suns in this game. Hawthorn, Brisbane in Tassie, another upset. Hawthorn 14-8-92, defeated the Lions 12-8-80. Brisbane let their run too late, had the win in the last quarter, kicked 8 goals in the last quarter. He thought, oh, God, is Hawthorn going to choke an 8-goal lead? Well, they almost choked an 8-goal lead, all right. But, yeah, they held on the Hawks. So good, congratulations to them. A good win for Clarko. Essendon and Sydney, this was a great game. Essendon 16-6-102, defeated by the Swans 17-7, 109. Yeah, one of the games of the season. Sydney was terrific in the end. And Tommy Papley was amazing, as was Luke Parker and Jordan Dawson, Cal Mills, and a few others. The Freo and the Tigers. The Freo gave the Tigers the old heave-ho. 7-13-55, defeated Richmond 6-15-51. A good low-scoring affair. Both sides could not kick it to save themselves. But, yeah, the Dockers kicked some late goals. And, yeah, the Dockers gave the Richmond Footy Club the old heave-ho. Ho, GWS 11-7-73, defeated by the Power 15-10-100. The close game at Marvel. We wish Jacob Hopper all the best. He had a sickening clash when he's out with concussion this week. But yeah, the Giants were okay. They were in it. Probably got a few goals late to make the margin look worse than it was. But it was a vital game for both sides. And Power referencing to the 4 and GWS in the 8. But Power will go for 27 points. Now, we'll preview the round 21 games. 3 rounds to go. The 8th spot is still between 3 sides, I feel. St Kilda, Fremantle, and GWS. And Essendon to a slighter degree. I don't think Richmond will make it, despite people saying they got an easier draw. The North Melbourne's not an easy draw. But the first game on Friday night at GMHBA Stadium is Geelong and GWS. Hopefully, for St Kilda's sake, that Geelong win. But I think Geelong should win at home, although GWS do play okay in Geelong. Saturday, 1:45 Marvel Stadium, Carlton and Gold Coast. Carlton should win that one, although Gold Coast, despite last week's effort and the second half against Brisbane, had been performing well before that. The twilight game of the MCG, Richmond and North Melbourne. It's going to be, I wouldn't call it an upset anymore. I think North Melbourne, Richmond have lost, 6 of the last 7. So we're going to go for the Roos here. 7:40 at Adelaide Oval, Adelaide and Adelaide, the showdown. As of right now, the crowd capacity is to be determined, but I'm going to go the Power. At Marvel Stadium, Saturday night at 7:40 is the Saints and the Swans. Look, it's really hard to go past the Swans, isn't it? Clearly going to go for my Saints. St Kilda probably seem to do the impossible. They should have beat Carlton. They should have beat Adelaide early in the year. They beat Brisbane out of nowhere. So knowing St Kilda, they'll probably win this game and keep their slight finals hopes alive. We'll move on to the Sunday games. Hawthorn and Collingwood, 2:10 on Sunday at UTAS Stadium in Tasmania. I want to go for the Pies. 3:20 at Marvel Stadium, Bulldogs and Essendon. We go the Bulldogs. The final game, the twilight game in Perth, Fremantle and Brisbane, 5:10 out Victorian time. I'm going to go for the Brisbane Lions just, although Freo did win without Fife and Co, so we'll see how that goes. Now, I'm going to go through my rolling all-Australian team, my heavily debated rolling all-Australian team. Now, I'm just trying to get the team up as we speak, guys, so bear with me. Obviously, it's getting towards the back end of the home and away season, so the rolling all-Australian team changes are I'm starting to settle on my lineup. I'm just going through it now. So we'll start off in the back line with the ever-reliable Jake Lloyd, fullback Stephen May from the Melbourne Football Club. In the other pocket, we have Isaac Cumming. And also in the back half, we have Jack Crisp with his crisp disposal, Tommy Stewart, and Daniel Rich, but he's a rich boy. The wingers are Carl Amon, who's now on the field, who's had a great game on the weekend as well, 31. So Carl Amon is there. And Tom Mitchell also on the other wing. I know he's not a wingman, guys, but it is what it is. Jack Steele, Amanda Steele's a Sediman. Half forward line, we've got consists of Rory Laird and Sam Walsh. I know they're not playing forward, but need to push some midfielders there. There's not really many dominant half forwards and forward pocket plays. Centre half forward, I debate about taking him out, but I've got him still there. Tex Walker, the pockets, Harry Mackay and Bailey Fritsch from Melbourne. Full forward is still Tom Hawkins. The ruckman is Sean Darcy, and the rovers are Toik Miller and Jackson McRae. The interchange consists of Luke Parker, Zach Merritt, Ollie Wines, and back into the side, replacing Ben Keys, is Clayton Oliver. 2 great games the last few weeks, really high 30 possession games and a lot of clearances and metres gained and etc. and tackles. So Clayton Oliver is back in the side with 3 rounds to go. So their overall change from the round 19 or rolling all-Australian team to the round 21, round 20 rolling all-Australian is in Clayton Oliver, out Ben Keys for the Crows. Did okay on the weekend, but Clayton Oliver was demanding a spot in the side. Now, going to leave your comments down below, guys, what your thoughts are on my rolling all-Australian. Who should replace who, if any? Now, I'm going to go through my Brownlow votes. Now, reenacted like the great Gillan McLaughlin. St Kilda v Carlton. Carlton, H. Mackay, 1 vote. Carlton, J. Silvani, 2 votes. St Kilda, J. Steele, 3 votes. Western Bulldogs v Adelaide. Western Bulldogs, B. Dale, 1 vote. Western Bulldogs, C. Daniel, 2 votes. Western Bulldogs, J. McRae, 3 votes. North Melbourne v Geelong. Geelong, Z Guthrie, 1 vote. Geelong, C Guthrie, 2 votes. North Melbourne, A Hall, 3 votes. Collingwood v West Coast. Collingwood, T Adams, 1 vote. Collingwood, J DeGoey, 2 votes. Collingwood, J Crisp, 3 votes. Gold Coast v Melbourne. Melbourne, C Petrarca, 1 vote. Gold Coast, T Miller, 2 votes. Melbourne, C Oliver, 3 votes. Hawthorn v Brisbane. Hawthorn, C Wingard, 1 vote. Hawthorn, J O'Meara, 2 votes. Hawthorn, T Mitchell, 3 votes. Essendon v Sydney. Sydney, L Parker, 1 vote. Essendon, Z Merritt, 2 votes. Sydney, C Mills, 3 votes. Fremantle v Richmond. Fremantle, Al Schultz, 1 vote. Fremantle, A Chera, 2 votes. Fremantle, A Brayshaw, 3 votes. GWS v Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide, O Wines, 1 vote. GWS, and Haynes, 2 votes. Port Adelaide, K Amon, 3 votes. The leaderboard after round 20 consists of the following. On 21 votes, Rory Laird. Tied on 22 votes, Sam Walsh and Ollie Wines. 25 votes in 4th place is Jack Steele. 29 votes is Toik Miller. 30 votes in 2nd place is Tom Mitchell. And the runaway leader on 37 votes, Jackson McRae, which now confirms with 3 rounds to go that there can only be 3 potential winners: Toik Miller, Tom Mitchell, and Jackson McRae. So my Brownlow medalist for 2021 season will be one of Toik Miller, Tom Mitchell, or Jackson McRae. Leave your thoughts down below in my ladder who you think will win the Brownlow votes. Obviously, Jack Steele, Sam Walsh, Ollie Wines, Rory Laird are in the leaderboard, and there's a lot of players on 19 and 20 votes, which may potentially come into the top half of my votes in the final 3 rounds. So keep an eye out for that, and let me know your thoughts down below, what your thoughts are on my Brownlow votes. Now, we have just the one audio message today, guys, and we're going to play it and see what you guys think about this question from this one Geelong supporter.
G'day, Cooper. I'm a Geelong supporter, and I was wondering who's your favourite player from the Geelong Cats? Would love to know your thoughts. Cheers.
Very interesting question. My favourite Geelong player? Well, if I had to pick one, I think some people may know where I'm going at here. Reece Stanley? Is that because he played for St Kilda? Yeah, no, probably. If it wasn't Reece Stanley, I'd probably go probably Mitch Duncan, because I've met Mitch Duncan before. I appreciate that one question. Guys, if you want any questions answered on the show, you know what to do. Send through an audio message through my email at aflinfolive@gmail.com. Simply, a lot of you say you want to be on the show answering questions, asking me questions, me answering them. Well, simply send through an audio message through the email. It's not that hard. You want any questions on, you know what to do. Now, you waited for it. You are now going to see it. The famous interview with Fox Footy's own Sarah Olle. Please enjoy and leave your thoughts down below during the interview, what your thoughts are of the interview itself.
Like when I first laid eyes on him in my first couple of weeks, I was like, who is this smart ass? Like, I just cannot stand you.
A very special guest today, none other than Fox Footy's own Sarah Olle. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Cooper. How you going?
Not bad, thanks. First of all, thanks for coming on the show. Obviously, you've got a busy schedule, so I appreciate it.
No worries. Happy to be here.
Some quick fire questions for you today. First of all, I'd start with, how did you get into Fox Footy?
Well, my first job was in the digital arm at Fox Footy, foxfooty.com.au. That was back in 2015. Actually, I think Tom Morris and I were hired on the exact same day. It was my first real job, actually. I initially studied law at university and hated it. So then went back and did journalism and was doing a bit of work along the way for the Raw, and I interned at Channel 7 in their sports department. And yeah, I just saw this opening here and was really lucky to get in. So I've been in this building ever since in different guises. I'm now at Fox Sports News during the week as a reporter, and still do some things with Fox Footy with AFLW as well.
So what did you want to do growing up? Was there anything to do with sport, or was it something completely different?
Yeah, no, I always wanted to be Caroline Wilson, which it sounds a bit silly to think that I then went and studied law, but I did quite well at school. I got good grades, and I was told that if I did law, I could do whatever I wanted to do, which was the worst advice I've ever been given, because if you don't do well at law, you can't do whatever you want to do. You have to get good marks still, and I didn't like it, and I felt I just didn't feel good about myself because I wasn't doing well, and I was kind of kicking myself for not following my gut. I actually had journalism at RMIT down as my number one preference and didn't go with it in the end. But yeah, growing up, I got up every day and I'd get the paper and I'd flip it over and I'd just read it from the back, read the sport, and predominantly I read from The Age. So grew up reading Caro, Sam Lane, Emma Quayle, some really strong female writers. So yeah, I kind of always did want to be a sports journalist growing up. So I'm glad I got here eventually.
You mentioned, we haven't mentioned yet, but you're obviously Sydney Swan supporter. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, I've got two versions of this story, Cooper. So the short version, when I can't be bothered telling people, is that I grew up in Middle Park, which I did, which is pretty much next to South Melbourne, and that, I'm an old South Melbourne supporter. But actually, my grandfather, Alan, played 50 games for St Kilda, Alan Olle. So my dad's a Saint, and I really should go for the Saints. But, I don't remember this conversation. Well, they're my second team, and they're my AFLW team. So the Swans don't have one yet. But Dad said that when I was younger, like I must have been very, very young, I asked who I should support. And Dad was just so miffed by St Kilda, and he said, they'll give you a lifetime of misery. Don't go for them, but do go for Plugger Luckett because he won't let you down. And then Plugger got up and moved to the Swans when I was about 3 or 4, I think. So for as long as I can remember, I've gone for the Swans, and it's all because of Plugger Luckett.
It's obviously a very big game next weekend between the Saints and the Swans. Will it be hard to watch or support one over the other, or more Sydney?
Well, to be fair, apart from that, Saints heyday when, it was Nick Rewalt and Joey and Dell and Lenny Hayes leading the charge, the Swans have kind of always been better than St Kilda, so it usually goes down well for me. But there is always a bit of banter in the family WhatsApp. Dad can't really help himself, but hopefully we can get the 4 points because there's still a chance to get that top 4 spot, that 4th position.
That's right. Obviously, would you agree with? People might say there's a bit of bias towards, but do you think Sydney's probably the most improved this year?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I thought that we would do okay this year, to be honest with you, obviously because I watched them a lot more than other people would. And I could see last year, even though we weren't winning games, we were really staying in games, and our percentage was quite healthy, which is usually quite a good indication of where a team is at. Yeah. And I could see the development in some of these young kids. Look, I didn't think that we'd be playing finals, but I thought maybe we'd finish 10th or 9th maybe. So no, they've completely surprised me. It's so exciting, and it's exciting to see them play really attractive footy, because even when the Swans have, won flags in the past, they haven't always played, the most beautiful brand of footy, but they're moving the ball so well. And I mean, how can you not get excited about some of the players like, Errol Gould, and I'm loving Nick Blakey off halfback, as well as Jordan Dawson. And I mean, Todd Papley's still really, really young. So some of these players that you think have been around for ages are still young. And I'm also just loving the work of some of the veterans, and Josh Kennedy and Rampy and Parks. They're doing great jobs, and they have to, because the kids can't do it all by themselves. They need to have these senior players carrying them. And I think they're just looking so even. So fingers crossed they can do a little bit of damage in September.
Obviously, with Buddy in there, obviously probably lucky to get it off with the suspension, but obviously it'll be a big boost for this Saturday night against Essendon, obviously in a big game as well. But another player, I don't know what you thought of, Tom Hickey. He's been a great recruit. Obviously his 4th club, starting at Gold Coast and the Saints, and then the Eagles, and now the Swans. He's going great now.
Isn't he? I mean, he's the definition of a journeyman, and he'd hate that. But it's amazing, Cooper, what you can do when someone gives you an opportunity. And he has taken this with both hands. And he's made such a difference because it has been it's been a bit of a sore spot for the Swans in recent years, with Sam Naismith having so many ACL injuries, and, you know, Cal Sinclair battles hard. But Tom Hickey is a genuine ruckman, and his tap work and his craft has been sensational. And he's also been able to go forward and kick some goals. So, yeah, I think, you know, if the Swans are the most improved team of the year, then Tom Hickey's got to be a candidate for, you know, the best recruit of the year, I think.
Well, yeah, when Tom Hickey was at St Kilda, I would always say to my parents when we go to the game how they could, you know, they were dropping him all the time. They played Billy Longer one week, then Hickey the week after. They could never get consistent go, either of them. And then when they let him go, I was really annoyed. And then West Coast, I suppose, obviously with Nat Nui head, but I would have been a great play up for it. And obviously Sydney relishing having him in the side now. But
so are you a St Kilda fan, Cooper?
That's right, yeah. As Tom and a lot of people that has been the case in the show.
Oh dear.
But
well, hopefully they'll be better next year for you. I like the look of Max King. He's developing very nicely.
He is. He did very well on the weekend against the Eagles too. He's actually, I think, 11 goals in the 2 games this year against West Coast. So he loves playing on Barras and on the better. It's amazing though. He's actually performed probably better on the bigger name defenders than the lesser known key defenders. So I suppose that's a good thing for him on the other defenders that he's not suiting so well on. But we'll move on. Did you ever play any sports when you were younger?
I did. I didn't play footy. I think I would have been okay actually if I was a bit younger and I'd played, just because I'm pretty competitive and I always played ball sports. I mean, I don't think I would have been flashy, maybe like a little half back pocket kind of player, maybe with lots of niggle. But I played netball, basketball growing up. Then, you know, I did, I played a bit of soccer, played a bit of softball, tennis, but probably, I'd say mainly netball. And I also rowed later at school. I rowed in year 9, and then I was a cox as well, which I'm quite small. So you can imagine me doing that, and you get a microphone when you're a cox in the boat. So I'm not one to shy away from that either. So I played a variety of sports. I wouldn't say I excelled at any of them, but I was always quite competitive, I would say.
I've just got a few more interesting questions here. Who's your favourite work colleague, and why is it Tom Morris?
Yeah, well, do you know what, Cooper? Because as I said before, I was going to say drafted, but we got the job on the same day back in 2015, and I actually hated Tom. Like when I first laid eyes on him in my first couple of weeks, I was like, who is this smart ass? Like, I just cannot stand you. And over time, we've become work wife and work husband, and I love him. It's his birthday on Friday, so he's 30, and he's just been a great constant source of support, and we just spend the whole time laughing together, but also leaning on each other for different work things. So it is Tom, you're right, but also a few other special people in this building. But yes, Tom is number one. Number one always. Can you
be an expert commentator or more boundary line reporting stuff that you've done in the past a little bit as well?
Yeah, I'm loving the boundary for AFLW, especially because I feel like the girls give you something, you know. I mean, it's getting weaned out of some of them. They do, you know, say one game at a time and all that kind of stuff. But I find the girls really refreshing, and they don't find media a chore. They really enjoy it, unlike some of the boys, unlike a lot of the boys, really. So loving that. I think further down the track, you know, I'd love to get into hosting or something, but I don't think I'd ever do expert commentary. I don't really think that's my go. But who knows? Never say never. Never say never, indeed. Just a few more things I want to mention. Who do you think could win the flag this year? Obviously, when we're recording this, there's 4 rounds to go. But who's your early tip for or even the top 8? Who do you think will be 7th and 8th? Because the top 6 is obviously set. Not so much the Eagles. St Kilda. I think the Eagles will get 7th, just because they've got a bit of an easier run home. And I mean, 8th, take your pick. Who wants it? Because at the moment, no one seems to want it. Everyone's falling in and out of that spot. I think the last time I did my ladder predictor, I had Richmond. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? My gut feel is that the Eagles and whoever finishes 8th won't do any damage. That's my gut feel. My other gut feel is that this is Geelong's flag this year. I just think they're humming along nicely. Everyone's been talking about the D's and the dogs. But I tell you what, the Cats are seasoned warriors, and they've got some big bodies that in September are going to stand up. So for mine, I think it's Geelong.
Yeah, they're obviously they're performing well, so they're obviously one of many that are a few chances. Now we're going to end on with this. The few Sarahs working in your area and the Cats. So the Sarahs versus the Cats. Yourself, Jones versus Kat and Kat Durkin. Who wins and who's better and why?
Oh, well, I don't think anyone wins. But what I will say is that it is quite funny how there are two Sarahs and two Cats, but the Cats are different. Kath Loughnan is with the K, Kath Durkin is with a C. And you're right, they kind of do similar things, like they're both presenting on AFL Tonight, but Kath Loughnan's more in the broadcast side of things now. She's been doing, boundary and hosting, and she was so good with Jared on 360 as well. And Kath Durkin's more of a news anchor for Fox Sports News. So they kind of do the same things, but kind of different. And I'm certainly not in the same league as Sarah Jones. She's an absolute professional. And I think she's been at Fox for 20 years or something crazy, like since she was really, really young. So she's worked her way from the ground up, which I just think is really admirable. And it comes through with her work. She's so professional, she's so polished, and she's been so supportive of me. So Sarah's been fantastic.
I really appreciate you, Sarah, for coming on today. Obviously, you've got a very busy schedule. So obviously this has been in the works for a while. So I really appreciate you coming on.
No worries, Cooper, and go Swans.
Thanks. Go Saints. Now that was the interview with Fox Footy and Fox Sport reporter Sarah Olle. Obviously, you heard we went through a lot of topics, including football and how you got into media. I thought it was a great insight on it, so really do appreciate Sarah Olle for coming on the show. And hopefully I have a few more guests in the upcoming months, which you would not want to miss. But I said there would be a big, huge announcement. A big announcement do I have. You see this photo attached in the current video? That the fend off of me fending off a Richmond player. No, it's not Dustin Martin. No, it's not Jack Steele. It's me fending off a Richmond player. And as you can see below the picture, wow, the fend off t-shirt will now be available right now on the website, which is attached in the comment, in the description is the merch website. So you know what to do. You want the fend off t-shirt. You know what to do for $39.95. It is on the website right now. You want yours, a limited edition t-shirt. I guarantee you it's going to be a very popular t-shirt. So you want to get yours now before everything runs out at $39.95. The t-shirt is amazing. The people that have made it have done a fantastic job. The designer done a fantastic job. So really do appreciate everyone involved in this. We've had this in the works for a while, and I hope you guys can purchase that. Now, also, you want any of my other merch, you know what to do. Head to the website. Also, stubby holders are on there still. Mugs are there, and the other t-shirts are there also. And also, finally, you want me on Cameo. Head to cameo.com/Cooper G for any personalised message you would like. Now, hopefully on the show next week, we could potentially have some goal reenactments, potentially have some more guests in the future weeks or months. I hope you enjoyed the trailer, which was done magnificently by my producer. He does a great job with all the footage, so I just want to give him a shout out there. Until next week, everyone, have a great one. And most importantly, go the Saints!